Okay, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I'm leveraging AI to produce, well, an unlimited amount of YouTube videos, short form videos, podcast episodes, and any type of content you can really think of. So this is going to be a long one. I just want to jump straight into it and show you exactly what you're going to learn. So firstly, you're going to learn how to reach far more people using AI-driven content. At the moment, when you're creating your own content, it takes up a heap of time. A lot of the time, most of the content you're creating isn't reaching the amount of people you want. It's not getting engagement and you're not building meaningful relationships. So I'm going to show you today how you can do that by leveraging AI. You're also going to learn how you can scale your content. So usually, if you are the content creator, you become the bottleneck to creating that content and scaling your business. You have to sit down and create it. Maybe you have script writers, maybe you have video editors, but at the end of the day, you are the one on camera. But with AI, you can completely eliminate yourself from that process, which means that the scale is exponential. Like there's an unlimited amount of scale. The next thing is the art of producing mass content. Again, if you're creating all of your own content, you become the bottleneck. It means that your time is invested in doing that, which means that you sacrifice other things. With AI, you can produce an unlimited amount of content in mass. Right now for video CEOs, we're producing dozens and dozens of videos and pieces of content a week just for our channels. And then we have clients in addition to that. So you can do the same thing, and it means you can totally conquer your industry by leveraging AI and content production. I'm also going to explain some of the must-have tools that you need to be using in 2024 as part of your content creation process. And finally, I'm going to give you a bit of a cost breakdown on how much this will actually cost for you to do yourself. So if that all sounds interesting, keep watching because I'm going to go through everything right now. So first things first, the big red flag is that if you're not creating any content right now and you have a business or you're an entrepreneur, then you're essentially leaving money and opportunities on the table. When I first started my business a few years ago, it wasn't as important to have a personal brand because there was far less competition. Nowadays, even I am noticing that you need to have content out there on the internet for your potential customers to find in order for them to buy from you, because people are far more skeptical today than they used to be a few years ago. So without content, your brand remains invisible online. People can't find you. They don't know anything about you. It means that you're easily overshadowed by competitors who are leveraging content to establish some level of authority and credibility. And that means that your competitors, because they're producing more content than you, are able to engage your potential audience and your potential customers. So what you want to do is basically compete with them, and you want to make it a fair fight so that your potential customers can see your content and have the choice to buy from you. Now, if you're not creating any content, that also means you're at a disadvantage with SEO, especially in the B2B space. SEO is massively important. Most of the people that I speak to and that we work with, they come to me because they have a really good SEO strategy. They're getting a lot of booked appointments, a lot of sales via SEO through their blog and things like that, and they're looking to scale it. But if you don't have any content, you're missing out completely on search engine optimization. Okay, it means you're missing out on opportunities, missing out on revenue. It also cripples your ability to scale because you just don't have that infrastructure in order to do it. Equally so, creating content isn't a walk in the park. It comes with its own set of challenges that can impact your business growth. Like I've said before, you've got to set up your camera if you want to create video content. If you're writing the articles yourself, you have to sit down and write the articles. If you hire an agency or a third party to create the content for you, you have to make damn sure that they understand your industry and your service and your product. Otherwise, you're just going to get crap. So from being a bottleneck in scaling your content basically means that you're diverting your resources. What you want to do is eliminate yourself as a bottleneck so that you can scale your content, produce things on every piece of social media or every space on the internet, which means that you don't have to do it. It means that you can think about the big picture stuff in your business to take it forward. If you're creating the content yourself, it's very inconsistent typically, because maybe you've got a week or two free, but all of a sudden you take on a few clients and now you don't have any time to create content. So inconsistent publishing, it also means that it's difficult measuring the return on investment of your content because it's inconsistent and the quality is not quite there. Sometimes you pump out content every single day or each week. Other times you're pumping out content and you're trying to rush it, so it's not as good. So there's a lot of complex challenges and things that you have to navigate if you are either creating content already, or if you're not, you need to start creating that content and looking for a way to scale it so that you're not the bottleneck. Add to this constant algorithm changes on platforms and a need for a diverse skill set to create content that actually resonates with your target audience. And you're looking at a really difficult challenge ahead of you, right? It requires an understanding of different social media platforms. It requires an understanding of how to create content, storytelling, how to engage people. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to learn if you want to do this yourself. So here's what we're going to cover, because naturally some questions are going to be popping up in your head. Will this even work for you? So I'm going to go through and show you that this will work for pretty much anyone in the B2B and even B2C space. You're probably asking, what kind of content can you create with AI, or just generally what kind of content? And it's a natural question if you're looking at creating content yourself or looking to scale it. And of course, how can you create content with AI? So how can you actually replace yourself as the bottleneck by leveraging AI? I'm going to show you how to do that. And obviously, how do you scale this as well? So let's say you want to go from $1 million a year to $10 million a year. You know you're the bottleneck, or you know you need more content. How exactly is that done? I'm going to show you in this video. So the million view success stories of industry giants. I always get asked, does this work in B2B? Does this work in my industry? I'm here to tell you that it does. There are plenty of examples to demonstrate this. So you might be on the fence about the whole idea of leveraging AI or even faceless video content if you're a B2B company or even a B2C. So I just want to make it very clear that it's a total myth that you have to be the one creating content. Now with AI, you're in a very special position because you can create certain pieces of content that sound and look like you. So you can create avatars as well as voice cloning. So all the videos that you're creating sound like you, or if you want to put yourself on camera, you can use an avatar that looks really realistic. There's a lot of big companies out there. I'm talking about $1 million companies, tens of millions, hundreds of million, billion-dollar companies out there that you know of who are doing this exact thing. So if you're not doing it, you need to be following what they're doing, because if they're a billion-dollar company or if they're making more money than you, it just makes sense to copy what they're doing. So the first example I've got here is Cisco. It's a technology juggernaut. If you haven't heard of Cisco, then I don't know where you've been living, because it's a massive company. Almost everyone, especially in the technology industry, knows them, in any industry really, because you're probably using Cisco equipment to run your business. Even they are using AI and faceless videos to make networking topics easy for everyone to understand. They've got over 25 million views on their channel already. And as you can see, over 331,000 subscribers on their channel. This video alone, which has been made with faceless technology, has got almost 600,000 views just in the last 12 months. Next up, you've got JP Morgan in the finance space. So they've been using the same kind of technology to get almost 40 million views across all of their videos on their channel. Just under 100,000 subscribers. This video over here on the left, 11 million views in 2 years. Now, it's very possible that this particular video has been used as an ad, but the fact is, if they've been using a faceless video or an AI-generated video as an advertisement, it means that it's converting, especially if they've been using it over a long period of time and have put it in front of 11 million people. And if you're still not convinced, I've got a LinkedIn article that I posted back in September 2023 that goes over some more businesses and companies that are using the same type of technology that I'm about to show you today. So I'll put the link to this article in the description below. So the way in which I'm leveraging AI at video CEOs, and my whole team is using AI right now to create video content every single day throughout the day. There's a variety of ways you can do it, but this is how we're doing it. So we can automate the creation of newsletters. A lot of people are jumping on newsletters at the moment. There's a lot of companies making a lot of money with newsletters. It's just a case of using AI and copywriters to craft really high search intent articles that you can put on your blog, or if you're sending it via email, same kind of thing, just make sure it's value packed. You pretty much just script everything and then click send. Super easy. The next thing we're doing is podcast automation. So we can script every episode and we can use voice cloning so it seems like there's a dialogue between multiple people. And when we're doing this, no one's actually involved in the process except the script writers themselves to create the dialogue. So if you wanted to create a podcast, but you just don't have the time to do it yourself, then podcast automation might be something that you can look into. YouTube automation is also another big one. So we've got a few channels ourselves where we're just creating long form videos and then publishing those videos. The process is quite straightforward, but it does require a bit of nuance, a little bit of a team. So you need someone to research and script the videos if they're not familiar with your industry. And even if they are, typically you're going to have to do some research to back up facts and things like that. So you need script writers. You can clone your own voice, so the long form videos will sound like you. Like I said before, you can create an avatar that will look like you as well if you actually wanted to be on camera. But then you need video editors to create the video. But once you've got that, you just hit publish, and you can do that en masse. And then you've got faceless branded pages. So if you've been on Instagram or TikTok, you've probably come across some of these profiles where no one is actually defaced to the brand. Usually it's a motivational channel or something along those lines. You can take that same concept and use it for your business, especially in B2B. We're doing this for ourselves as well as for our clients. It's the same process as above, except you're posting short form videos on every social media platform. So it could be on TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Now you might be thinking, well, does anyone else actually do this? And my answer is yes. Here's an example from someone I'm connected to on LinkedIn, Harvey Castro. He's using AI to clone his voice as well as that of his colleagues and guest speakers on his own podcast. So he's using ChatGPT to do that. You can go on his profile and you can check out some of his posts. Some of his podcast episodes are really, really good. You would never know that he's using AI to create that episode. Over here on the right, he's got a few steps. So he's actually laid out the exact steps you can take to produce a podcast episode if this is something that you're thinking of doing. It's pretty much the same process that we follow to create podcast episodes for our clients as well. So from his example, he's in the healthcare industry. His first step is just to take an article about AI and healthcare, or you can just write your own article. And then you can use ChatGPT to create a transcript between different characters within the episode. You then select your voices. So if you want to be the one on the podcast, you just clone your voice. If you want to bring in guest speakers or something like that, you can clone their voice. And now you have a dialogue between different characters. You can use artwork for the actual podcast display picture and the episodes and things like that. Again, ChatGPT for the blog description. You can add sponsors. You can sell your own products and services. You can do affiliate marketing. You just create a standard template for selling those things, and then you just embed it into each podcast episode. Once that's done, you just hit publish, and you can publish these podcasts on Apple. You can do it on Spotify, and there's a heap of other different podcast channels that you can put yours on. One of the cool things about both podcasts and even YouTube channels is that you can get paid via the AdSense that people place on your content, which is really cool. Just an added bonus if you wanted to make some extra money. So how can you use AI to create more B2B content or more content for your business, whether it's B2B or B2C? The same process applies. So for AI avatars, we use DID or D-ID. These are pretty cool. You can upload your own avatar. You can use Midjourney, which is something I'll get into in a second to create your avatars. You just upload it to DID and it just does the work for you, makes it talk. AI voice cloning, we use 11 Labs, but there's a whole heap of other different AI tech out there that you can use now, which is also quite good. I've only really used 11 Labs, but I've heard of others that are good to use as well. AI script writing, ChatGPT and Bard is typically, the best ones that you can use. You've also got Jasper for copywriting. Let's say you wanted to make advertisements or VSLs, you can use Jasper. AI visuals, Midjourney, like I said, it's an amazing piece of tech. You can pretty much create anything. My editors are using this for almost all of our channels. You've also got Leonardo AI as well, if you didn't want to use Midjourney or you needed a different type of style. For analytics, you have vidIQ and keywords everywhere. If you're creating video content or just content in general, you want to be able to monitor which pieces of content are actually getting you a return on your investment. So these are really good tools to use. And then SEO articles, byword.ai, you can check that out. It's actually a really cool piece of tech that you should definitely go and have a look at. We've made LinkedIn articles with Byword. You can even make video scripts with this thing if you're smart about it. Now, another thing I think is important to mention is that you can actually voice dub everything. So if you are currently only marketing to the Western world that speaks English, but you can also sell into other countries, let's say you wanted to sell into Spain or South America, you can voice dub everything with AI. So you just have to speak English and the AI voice dubs it into a completely different language. Now you get exposure in a whole different market, which is pretty cool. This is something that Mr. Beast is doing. That's how he's worth over $1 billion, or at least his personal brand is now. So definitely something to consider if you're looking to expand. Now, one of the biggest problems you're going to experience when using AI to create your video content, or any content for that matter, is scaling it. So as you grow your company, it means that you have to make more content, obviously, but it's tough to make sure that the content is good, especially if you're doing it yourself. Most businesses don't have a media team embedded into their company. You can go ahead and create that team if you want, but most people don't, which means that you're going to be inconsistent because you're creating the video content or the content yourself. You have to find people to help you scale, which is very difficult. It's also hard to keep everything matching as well. So one video might not be the same as another, which means that your brand is not always truly aligned to how you want it to be, especially if you're doing this yourself. There's tech problems as well. Maybe you don't have enough time. Some weeks you're going to be busier than others with clients or, putting out fires in your business. More videos also means that you're spending more money because you have to sit down and create the video. You've got to get the equipment. You've got to have the office. If you're paying someone to make videos, that's also more money as well. Figuring out what people watch and what they want, dealing with changing rules, different algorithms, these are all things that you're going to have to keep up to date with as you scale. And of course, too much stuff all at once can tire out you and your audience, and they're just going to be uninterested in things. So you really need to know and identify what your content pillars are and how you want to scale this thing, because there's a lot of mistakes on the way forward. So how do I do this? I simply use virtual teams. Most businesses do not create a media team inside or in-house. This is exactly what we do at Video CEOs. My whole company is built on having media teams in-house, and we embed them into other companies. So I just leverage virtual teams to do this. I hire video editors. If you're looking for a video editor, I don't recommend going on Upwork or Fiverr. Yes, you can find some good ones on there. They're like needles in a haystack. Instead, what I'd recommend is you find them in our paid community. So there's a link in the description below this video where you can join our paid community and you can find some really high quality video editors that we're constantly training in the group. But anyway, I digress. If you get a video editor, you want to get one who is also a pro at graphic design, because otherwise you've got to pay two different people for essentially the same job. There's not really any point hiring just one person to be a graphic designer. The video editor should be able to do that, especially with AI these days. Next, you need a social media manager, not only because they have to figure out the algorithms, they've got to know when the best time is to publish and things like that, but they can have a dual role. So they're doing research for the scripts and the videos, they're copywriting, all that kind of fun stuff. So typically, if you wanted to just get started with this, you only really need 2 positions, but as you scale, you might want to hire more people in that team to manage different bits and pieces. The cost for you to do this is roughly $1,000 a month if you hire offshore. Obviously, if you hire from around your local area, if you're in the US or Australia or the UK, we all know it costs a lot more money to hire locally. So that's also something to consider as well. Whatever you decide to do, if you hire a team, you need to make sure that they actually understand your business and what your goals are, or you need to have the right processes or standard operating procedures to help train them. This is typically why a lot of people come and work with us, or they approach me to try and work with us, because we're able just to embed a team into their business essentially, and we can just get going straight away. There's no mistakes, there's no challenges or anything like that. We can just start producing videos really quickly. So just a quick recap before I finish up this video. If you leverage AI and faceless videos in your marketing, in your content production, the first thing you're going to get is increased productivity, because you can create more content in less time. For example, you can hire a scriptwriter, they can make 2 or 3 scripts a day, and then you give that to a video editor, they can start producing those videos pretty quick. Now, this is because you can automate many of the tasks involved in the content creation process, such as researching, writing, editing, and things like that. Next, you've got improved quality, because just using AI typically means that you're going to have far better videos. I mean, the things that you can do with this tech is ridiculous. This is because you can generate amazing content ideas, amazing pictures, amazing videos just from using text. So you just describe what you want and it gives it back to you in video or picture format. And then you've got reduced costs. You don't have to hire such a big team anymore. Most of the tools do the work for you. You just have to have a few specialists that know how to use those tools. Alternatively, if you wanted to hire a third party, it's still going to cost you less money than if you were to create your own team in-house. Because creating your own team in-house not only means that you have to pay multiple people, you also have to figure out all of the training, all of the processes, and get past all of those hurdles. If it's something that you're interested in doing, go ahead and do it, but most businesses aren't going to do that, so they typically prefer to hire a third party. And so in saying that, if you need help producing your content, if you aren't creating enough right now and you want to scale it, click the link in the description below. It'll take you to the Video CEO's website. You can check out some of the resources or just book a call and you'll speak to either myself or someone in my team, and we can figure out a way to scale your business by leveraging content. Equally so, if you got value out of this video, please let me know in the comments below what part of the video was most valuable to you. Like it, subscribe so you can get more content like this, but mostly because it helps me with the algorithm and it means I can get this video out to more people like you who need help most. And finally, just before I finish up, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them.